New Year, everybody. Let's get to work on this silhouette. I did a silhouette just before Christmas, and it came out pretty good. So I thought I'd try a little something along the same lines. So let's start off. Now we're not going to worry too much about getting this paint in the side of the silhouette because it's going to be painted in lamp black. So, it should go okay. Let's see. All right. So let's start off with the filbert. This is Indian yellow. And let's just kind of working on a dry canvas today. We may add some linseed oil as we go. We'll see if we want to do that. Taking our time, kind of working this into the canvas. We got some buildings and stuff back here. It's going to basically be in relief as well. Maybe not quite as dark, but we'll just kind of spread some sunshine around over there too. All right. I don't leave the sun quite this golden, but I'm blending this out now. All right, let's add I'm going to put just a little bit of linseed oil. I store my linseed oil in medicine bottles, antique medicine bottles. I like those. Pick up just a little bit of that. This will help me blend it a little bit. So I'm not adding any paint, we're just adding a little bit of linseed oil. Now we're not going to come back and work on the sun until the second portion of the painting. Actually, maybe the third portion, because we may let the black completely do its thing before we kind of. All right, let's pick up some yellow ochre. We're not going to clean the brush, we're just going to pick up some yellow ochre and start to move that in here. Then I think I'll add maybe just a tad, just a touch of alizarin crimson. We'll see. Once we start putting it in, we'll decide if we're going to keep it. But I'm not really trying to match up to the reference photo too much. That's not really my... All right. Add just a little bit of linseed oil to that. Add a little more than I planned, but it's okay. We'll keep that. We'll just work it. All right, now I want to add a little bit of pale blue sky. I could build that pale blue up, or I think I've got some... I think I might have a color here. Maybe I don't. Maybe I used it up. As soon as I put it on the... as soon as I put it on the thing, it's going to show up. I just know it. I'm usually pretty certain about what tubes of paint I have, but I do not see what I'm looking for. So let's build this color up. So let's clean the brush. We'll look up, keep looking one more time here. All right, I think before we get too much farther in with this color, let's break out the fan brush here. I want to start to pull these brush strokes out. You can see we started to create the halo right here around her. That's good. Yeah, let's just clean this brush because next time I get ready to blend it, I'll forget. And I'll be in trouble. All right, let's get some. I just don't even know where that color went. All right, well, I guess I'll just have to go with something else. All right, let's get some, in this case, let's go with maybe this cobalt blue. Maybe this cobalt blue. Let's see. Seems to be a little dried up in the tube. Painting gods are not wanting me to use my blues today, but I have a lot of blue to be done here, so there we go. All right, so this is cobalt blue, my Artscape cobalt blue. You know, those aren't the fanciest paints ever, but yeah, they're okay. They're not bad. All right, let's put some titanium white on the palette. I'm sure we will make use of that. before we get very far. All right, let's take some of this cobalt. I think we'll start it up here in this guy. Be kind of loose with this because we're going to blend it. Come on. I think I'm going to carry that with a little bit of red in it all the way across this guy, just to kind of block it in. Alright, let's clean the brush. Got a lot of dark color in there. Alright, now, I'm going to lighten the sky just a little bit. Let's pick up some titanium white. Just kind of flat brush this in. Now remember, over in this area, we've got a good bit of linseed oil in here. Wipe that dark off the brush. We're gonna Alright. We can maybe add a little more white. So when we get this going, when we get this right toward the end of it, we will we'll add the sun back in here. And we'll bring some sunbeams and stuff down across that. All right. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. That's okay. Not that big a deal. Okay, now we want to bring some of this white to this blue because it's too dark for a morning sky. But let's just kind of start to lighten it up. All right. I'm not going to worry too much about. Let's start putting water in. The water's going to be, oh, let's start off with ultramarine blue and see how that goes. Although, I think before we do that though, now I don't have the sun reflecting here yet, but it's eventually where it's going to be. So let's clean the brush because it's darker than what I want from a yellow's perspective, but let's wait to it now and see how. And then we may come back and highlight this some more in a little while. Good enough. Now, what's going to be challenging is getting this blue in against that yellow without doing its thing. So, but it's okay. Let's just get it going, and we'll work it from there. Right now we're just kind of laying this water in, and then we're going to kind of lay a bunch of highlight over the top of it. I think that's a little blue for what I want. So let's clean the brush real good. I'm just going to take some of this back off. I want some of that blue under there, but it's too much blue, I think, for what I want. So let's just take some of that back off. Let's come back with something a little. Something with a little blue, but not that much blue. Let's try this. Let's see how this goes. I think this might look better with the highlight. This is Payne's Gray. I don't really need to do too much with that right there. I think I'm going to switch for a minute to a flat, just because I can. I think I can pull it in easier better with this. Tell you what, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's bring this on up here. I'm not gonna let that linger too much there, but let's just kind of, we can bring back the highlight later. Now the ocean is looking pretty black, but it's not, that's not how it's going to end up. So, oh crap. More like, kind of like something like that, right? Anyway, back to it. Let's get the rest of this worked in. Bring this ocean in pretty good bit. And then it kind of runs off onto the beach, out this way. So we'll work on that. Put the highlights in. Okay. I think this will be easier for me to outline this with this. Let's get something a little more flat. I can get into these tight spots. It didn't get quite up on its last peg there. I could scrub this in and make more, add a little bit more linseed oil, and I might before it's over, but I don't think that's not what I want to do right at the moment. So she's standing in the water here. I'm going to smooth all this out shortly. I guess I could switch to a 1-inch brush to do this, but I'm not in that big a hurry. I don't think I'm in that big a hurry. Blocking in, I hate it. Yeah, I want to add some color to this a little bit more. So let's see. Now stay up there. All right, so on this side, let's clean this brush and put it away for a second. a fan brush, doesn't matter which one, I don't guess. Remember that we're going to come back and add a bunch of highlights and stuff to this, so don't get too caught up in this. Is just the blocking under, so I'm not too worried about anything about it just yet. Alright, let's just let's add some more highlight in here. Alright, now right along and then alright, I want to run this edge real quick and get the water up, the edges of the water laid down for the first part of the painting. So that's going to kind of run. I guess I need to do something with this output first. This output. Okay, before I can do that, I gotta do something else. Alright, let's see. Let's get some dark sienna. No, not much of that, just a little bit, because there's not much beach in this picture. A little bit of sienna, a little bit of this and that. Like that. And that'll be fine. And then let's add just a touch of just a touch of darkness up in here. So we're using a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, a little bit of brown. And then just a little bit of this around the edge. Okay, that'll be all right. again, we're going to go back with some cleanest brush. First, we're going to go some blue and some white. I mean, just a little tiniest bit of blue. Although we'll make it a little darker toward us as we get closer. First, we're going to add a light borderline to this on both sides, I think. So just off here. Oh my goodness gracious, why is this giving me so much trouble? All right. Okay. Let's carry on now with bringing up this white and this gray. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. Kind of. I'll do a little bit, do some more in the next session with the highlighting to back that up, move that up a little bit more. But by moving it up, I mean raising the value just a little bit. I do want to add some darker, a little bit of darker darks in a couple of places though. But first I want to, well, let's just go ahead and do that. Good enough with that band brush. I don't want to overblend this. All right, so for this time, let's finish up, let's do just a little bit of work on the buildings up here. And then we will let this dry, and then we'll come back and start working on the groovier highlights. All right, let's just use a script liner. And let's see, let's make some quick gray off in the distance. These buildings are way off here, so it doesn't matter too much, you know. Not looking for any detail here. We're just scrubbing a few of them in. I'm gonna add just a little bit of linseed oil to that, just to kind of make it flow a little easier on off the script liner. So we'll just kind of keep alternating the white and the black here, making these buildings closer and far away, and closer and far away. Let's make this big building like really. Let's push it way back. And then maybe even put like a bit of a darker one right here in front of it like that. And we got some other buildings that are way out here. But I think I want to change this a little bit. So we're just going to kind of lift this ocean part off right here. I'm going to pull it down. Yeah, like that. Like that, and then let's just I don't know. Let's just leave that kind of grayed out like that, and then let's just kind of, you know, leave it like that is. Just back the way back there, way back there. Okay. All right, that's good. All right, let's clean up our figure a little bit so we don't have to deal with that extra paint next time. So take a Q-tip and maybe a little bit of linseed oil. Dab it out on the towel. I'll just kind of go along here, erase this paint. Oop, I missed a spot right there. Alright, it's okay, we'll fix it in a second. Yes, alright. There's nothing in an oil painting that you cannot fix. And once you realize that, it'll free you up to paint. You'll stop worrying about making mistakes. Because the more you try to get something perfect and not make mistakes, the more likely you are to make mistakes. Alright, that's coming together pretty good. Remember, of course, all this is going to be silhouette. I'm not so worried about her face there. I can still see all that really well. Let's patch up this. Just need a tiny, tiny bit of this gray, Payne's gray. I'll mix a little bit of white with that. Not too light. That's probably about right. So we'll lay the color in first, just like this. And then we'll align the brush strokes. So these brush strokes are going up. Coming into that way. All right. Just adding little details here and there. Showing a little sand showing through. There we go. All right, guys. So there we go. So I'm going to try to see if I can do this picture-in-picture thing. And if I do, then you guys will get to see it in picture-in-picture. And if I don't manage to make it work, then you'll see it like a normal video, I reckon. So thanks for tuning in. And be sure to watch for part 2. It's a coming. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Happy New Year.